Okay, so where do you buy modern rare games? Well, I've compiled a list of 20 different websites that sell limited edition or limited quantity games. Most people are familiar with limited run games, so I won't be including that one. And just a heads up, there are very few PlayStation 5 games on these sites yet. I've seen maybe 4 or 5. So let's get right into the list. We will start with one of the more popular ones. You may have already heard of it, Special Reserve Games. They were founded in 2016, and at the time of this recording, they are on game number 26. At the moment, they have available Demon Throttle, Broforce, Disc Room, Talos Principle, another version of Enter the Gungeon for some reason. Not that there's anything wrong with Enter the Gungeon, it's actually one of my favorite games, but I can't find anything that makes this version any different or unique. Also, Heave Ho, Piku Niku, Serious Sam for PC, sorry if you wanted it on console like I did, Crossing Souls, and The Sword of Ditto. Next is Fangamer. This site only has a few games of note, like a pre-order of Bug Snacks for PlayStation 5, Later Alligator for Switch, Hollow Knight, Undertale Collector's Edition, and one that I might have to pick up myself, Spelunky Collector's Edition. But their most notable thing on the site is their gaming merchandise. They have tons of different games on this list, like Undertale, Banjo-Kazooie, Bloodborne, Demon Souls, Silent Hill, Perfect Dark, Myst, Ape Escape, Dead Cells, and Psychonauts, and many more. They have shirts, plushies, keychains, mugs, records, pins, and hoodies, among other things. This is Strictly Limited Games, another one of the more popular sites. This is evidently a German company. At the moment, they have Star Hunter and Space Moth, a shoot 'em up, Spelunker, Speed Limit, Clockwork Aquario, Last Labyrinth for PlayStation VR, Bubble Bobble 4, several Darius games, Turrican, Pressure Overdrive, No More Heroes, and Coffee Talk. First Press Games. This is another company based out of Germany. They have Switch, PlayStation 4, a few NES homebrew, Famicom, and Game Boy. At the moment, for Switch, they have Under Hero, Nico Navy, Psychotic, Mulaka, Rival Mega Gun. This game sounds fun to me. It's a local 2-player shoot 'em up where the better you do, the more stuff gets sent over to your opponent's screen for them to have to deal with. A lot like Twinkle Star Sprites if you're familiar with that game. Then we have Castle Hearts, Shadow Bug, A Whole New World, Mind Seas, and for PlayStation 4 we have Natsuki Chronicles, Ginga Force, and some of the other ones I mentioned for Switch. This is Super Rare Games. They only sell Switch games, and I will go ahead and say that these are European only games. And if you didn't know or weren't sure, that has no bearing on your ability to play them in North American consoles. I own quite a few European games myself, and they play just fine in my North American console. And same with Japanese games as well. They usually have an option for language, most of the time. Right now they have available Last Day of June, The Flower Collection and The Lion Song, Unrailed, Ita, Yes Your Grace, Monster Prom, Old School Musical, Little Inferno, and Smoke and Sacrifice. Just for Games is based in France. You may have to use Google Translate to look at this one. This site has a little bit of everything. Some pre-order stuff, some hard to find games, and exclusive games too. PS5, PS4, and Switch. Of note on here would be Andro Dunos 2, Wallachia, Liberated, Shing, Guns of Mercy, Gigantic Army, Super Trench Attack, and Finding Teddy 2, which is getting pretty hard to track down. There are a few more pages of hard to find games on here as well. You will just have to explore around, because there is quite a bit. I will mention that you can get Morbid on here, which the price for on eBay has gone up considerably. Nicholas. There are a few reasons I have this one on the list. First of all, you might recognize this as the publisher of Cave Story and the console versions of Binding of Isaac. They do have a few exclusives on here and some merch you can't get anywhere else. Plus, you can usually get some of these games for much cheaper from their site as opposed to anywhere else. Like for instance, Code of Princess, which is sold out now, but they do still have Blade Strangers, Crystal Crisis, Dun Greed, Elliot Quest, Hyper Parasite, Monkey Barrels, Red Out, Remy Lore, and a music creating keyboard game called Korg that I have a feeling will be pretty rare in the future. This is Hard Copy Games. It's a relatively well-known one. Most of the games on here are exclusive to this site. We have Electronic Super Joy 2, Volgar, Klaus, The Bridge, Elliot Quest again, Light Spear, Speaking Simulator, and The Aquatic Adventures of the Last Human. That last one is kind of like a Metroidvania that you play in a submarine. Red Art Games, another European site with some PS4, Switch, and Vita exclusives, including 112th Seed, Arita of Spirits, which is a Zelda or Secret of Mana-esque game. I'll probably be picking this one up myself. Awesome P 1 and 2, Bit Dungeon, Blind Men, Braveland Trilogy, Demetrios and Xenon Valkyrie together, Candleman, Children of Zodiarcs, Creepy Road, and quite a few more that you're going to have to check out yourself. So, V-Blank Entertainment. Basically, they just have the one franchise of Retro City Rampage and Shakedown Hawaii. At the moment, they do have Shakedown Hawaii for PlayStation 4, and a few toys for sale. And they are going to have Shakedown Hawaii for PlayStation 5 in December. I Am 8-Bit. This is another well-known site. They have a little bit of everything. Clothes, pins, art, games, records. Right now for games they have Manifold Garden for PlayStation 5, Etherborn, Mutazione, Carto, Spinch, Grindstone, Disco Elysium Collector's Edition, Res Infinite for PlayStation VR, Pathless for PlayStation 5, Ori Collector's Edition for Switch, Watam, Inside, Gone Home for Switch, and Mega Man X Repro cartridge for Super Nintendo. Game Fairy. This seems to be a relatively new one. They don't have much in the way of original stuff yet. Right now they have Rigid Force Redo, a shoot 'em up, Far, Lone Sails, Vambrace. This one looks pretty similar to Darkest Dungeon, Bridge Constructor Portal for Switch, and a Dreamcast homebrew called The Texorcist, which is a retro-styled pixelated game where you use typing as your weapon, kind of like Typing of the Dead, and bullet hell elements as well. Looks pretty fun. NIS America, the game publisher, has their own storefront. You will probably recognize one of their biggest franchises, Disgaea. Right now on their site they have Monarch, Trials of Cold Steel Collector's Edition, The Silver Case 2425, Phantom Brave and Soul Nomad together, Caligula Effect 2, RPG Maker MV, Disaster Report for Switch, Destiny Connect, Fallen Legion Revenants, Giraffe and Anika, and Neo Atlas. Signature Edition Games is another popular one. They have Switch, PlayStation 4 and 5, Vita, and they are one of the few sites that also have Xbox One games. They have quite a few games on their site, so I will just mention a few for each console. For PlayStation 5, we have Alex Kidd, Yonder, and Spirit of the North. For Xbox One, they have Cloudpunk, Streets of Rage 4, Bounty Battle, Stranded Sails, Frostpunk, and Northgard. For PlayStation 4, they have Alex Kidd again, Hellpoint, Dungeon of the Endless, Valfaris, For the King, Bomber Crew, Riot, and Hero Defense. There are quite a few more games on this site that I left out, so you will have to check them out yourself. NG Dev Direct. This is another brand new one that just started releasing games. They will probably be worth keeping an eye on. At the moment, they only have games for Switch. They have Razion EX and Gunlord X. They are both shoot 'em ups, so I'm not sure if they're going to specialize in that, but I will be keeping an eye on them. VGNY Soft. They have quite a few Switch games and PlayStation 4. They do have one PlayStation 5 game to pre-order. I have to say, out of all the sites on this list, the presentation of this one is the best. With the videos playing so you can see what the game looks like instead of having to leave the site to look at every game for gameplay. For Switch, they have Okinawa Rush, Liberated, Tanuki Justice, Golden Force, Wallachia, Shmups Collection, Super Trench Attack, and Guns of Mercy. For PlayStation 4, they have Zero Strain, One Finger Death Punch 2, and Golden Force. Golden Force is a pixelated side-scroller, and it looks like a lot of fun. I will be picking this one up. And the pre-order for PlayStation 5 is Drunken Fist, which looks interesting. Okay, One Print Games is another small one. They only have 4 games so far, and they are all for Switch. They have Kiro Blaster, that is out of stock though. It'll Do 1, Death Squared, and Neocab. That's all. Perp Games. Okay, this one I thought was interesting because it's almost all exclusively PlayStation VR games. So if you are a PlayStation VR fan, then you should definitely check this one out. Some of the games they have are Pixel Ripped, Ninja Legends, Budget Cuts, Gun Club VR, Down the Rabbit Hole, Drunken Bar Fight, Walking Dead Onslaught, a Doctor Who game apparently, Curious Tale of the Stolen Pets, and Carly and the Reaper Man. They have quite a few more than that on their site, so check them out sometime. Premium Edition Games. This is another small one, and yet another with only Switch games. So we have here Super Blood Hockey, Pigeon Dev Games Collection, and coming soon they have Demon's Tier Plus, a robot named Fight, which is a lot like Super Metroid, and Cathedral. Well, that's the list. I hope I helped someone out there that's trying to collect modern games like I am. Did I mention any on the list that you didn't know? Did I miss something that you do know? If so, then I would love to hear about it in the comments and we could help each other out. Like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.